Hey Clashers, and welcome back to another video. And today we want to take a look at a crazy attack strategy right now, which is the combination of Inferno Dragons and Dragon Riders. But this is a small twist in there, because no, we're not going to use Inferno Dragons like normal. We're going to use them with overall 11 freezes. Yes, you heard that right, 11 freezes overall. That's pretty crazy, but why exactly do we do that? Well, the reasoning behind that is that right now, and especially a ton of legend bases, there's always 3 multi-Inferno towers. And having skeleton spells against multi-Inferno towers feels kind of like having no spells at all. So the reasoning bringing no skeleton spells anymore is the Inferno towers. So that's just the replacement, which is the freeze spells. And they're doing incredibly great, especially in Legends, because in Legends League we have a ton of compact bases. Just take a look at all of the freeze value right there. You can always freeze like the scatter with the Town Hall, you can freeze a ton of Inferno towers, you can freeze everything basically with those bases. And that's not only with the ring bases, but that's with a ton of different base setups. So let's take a look at that. So the approach is basically the same as for Electro Dragons, with the only big difference being that you always want to take down the Town Hall with a blimp. This is something really important, because with that blimp and with that Town Hall especially out of the way, this means that you have nothing to be scared about, especially with that poison out of the way. That's the important thing. And at this point, you're just always freezing everything up. Like it's kind of as your Inferno Dragons and your Dragon Riders are going through the base without nothing shooting back, because you have always so many spells. The big secret though about the strategy is that keeping track of what exactly is happening and timing your freezes. Just as this one freeze in the core, taking down the the Royal Champion without that freeze, with this freeze just 1 second later, this Inferno Dragon would have not gotten the Royal Champion down, which could have caused huge problems on the back end. So when you want to learn this strategy, and if you want to train this strategy, you need to make sure that your spell placement and timing is flawless. This is kind of the key thing. And now you can see it, that's the success obviously, and I talked to Julian because he just recently picked this strategy up. He still said, like when he was sharing the replays, that he has to still learn a ton of things about the strategy, but he was more willing than he was happy to share a couple of his attacks. And I thought, hey, let's just try and see how it works for you guys, because when people, or like when those guys were testing my bases with this, especially Reen from No Legs tested this on my bases, and he used level 1 Dragon Riders, and I'm having a pretty much maxed out base, and he still tripled me. And after that I was like, wait a second, this attack strategy looks kind of OP. So now next attack, and this one is on Kartik, who's like on 6k trophies. So that's not like, obviously it's not the newest base, but at the same time it's not like a trash base or anything. It's a pretty normal base, and well, this base is just getting wrecked. The normal thing what you're doing with this attack strategy, you want to get in on the flank of the Town Hall. This is really important because, as I said, you always blimp the Town Hall, and if you're going into sweepers, you don't care, because you're just going to freeze everything non-stop. On the bottom side you can see he's freezing up the Eagle with the Inferno Tower non-stop, then he's freezing the back end now with the Queen and the Sweeper and just the scatter and everything. There's just nothing shooting back. As long as you can concentrate your freezes on the most important things, which are like scatter shots, which are Inferno Towers, which is the Eagle for example, which is Sweepers, which is enemy heroes, things like that. If you can keep those frozen up and have the timing and everything perfect, this strategy is for you. This strategy is just incredibly powerful. And really, as always, the strategy link is down below in the description. I would really love to hear how you guys are doing with this strategy, because as I said, this kind of looks like E-Dragons or noobs, like for everyone. This is just easier than E-Dragons, I feel like, and stronger, because E-Dragons right now are having a good and a bad time at the same time. That sounds kind of strange, but I think you know what I mean. Because as soon as you're facing bases with like 45 archers and things like that, it's really easy to mess up. So this strategy is not as bad on those bases or like on those CCs, so it's kind of more flexible in that regard. But hey, let's take a look at another attack and let's see if we can learn something new. So this one is a really unusual looking base, to be honest. Like with this Eagle really near the Town Hall. And if you might think this base is trash or anything, I think it does, especially against a couple of strategies, really well. So as long as you cannot snipe the eagle, it's doing pretty good, to be honest. And this base, yet again, is like on 5.9k trophies, so it's not too bad overall. He's using like 2 Inferno Dragons to snipe off the eagle, which is already kind of great value. And then the next thing, on this like diamond-shaped base and like setup, he's just using the Inferno Dragons to make sure that everything is staying on the flank yet again, and then just blimping the tunnel. So it's always the same approach. And this one's kind of like a teaser base, to be honest. Not really like a diamond-shaped base, but this one's more like a teaser base overall. And the teaser base should have no chance against this because he's just yet again raging everything up, taking down the town hall. Then we have this wave coming over the base. And yet again, always pick in the beginning the most important defenses, the most important islands of defenses to freeze up and make sure that they have no chance of reacting. For example, this core, the warden and the scatter, typically a really high damage core, which is not the greatest to face overall because it's single damage and it's splash damage combined. And having like to face that with like a Inferno Dragon attack typically is not the easiest thing, but with those freezes, just keep freezing things up. That's no problem whatsoever. And even if this would have been a multi-Inferno tower or whatever, you could just keep freezing it, keep freezing it. And that's super cool to use. Obviously, Queen ability is still left, Royal Champ ability is still left, and this attack yet again is looking crushing on this base. Well, there's not much left this base can do except surrender, because the Royal Champion using her ability, taking down the backhand, and this one wasn't even bad upgraded. Like, this one was a pretty nicely upgraded base overall, but still, there are a ton of Inferno Dragons still left, Royal Champion still. I mean, still a pretty good time overall, and that's kind of the cool thing about this strategy as well. If you do not have too much time, you can just use this one, because those attacks are quick. But hey, let's take a look now at a really diamond-shaped base. Since this was more like a teaser base, I would say, a really strange teaser base, but still a teaser base. But now let's take a look at diamond-shaped base and how you can approach those. You can see this now, pretty classic diamond-shaped base, right? Like the setup, everything looks pretty familiar. And what you're doing on those, the same story as on teaser bases, to be honest. So what you're doing with that, you want to get onto the flank of the town hall, and then just send the heroes on the far side. Yeah, send your Inferno Dragons with the Dragon Riders just inside the flank with that blimp for the town. This is always the key thing. Now, yet again, early warden ability just to make sure that this blimp is reaching its target, because if this town is not going down, this is some huge problems for you right there. But now, so far, this looks great. He's keep freezing now and start investing his freezes. Scatter and Sweeper. Really good freeze target. The next one was on the left side, Inferno Tower and the defending Warden. Nice target as well. And now just the Eagle, for example, things like that, freezing up the enemy queen. On this one, there was like a small oopsie in there because he's just running like 2 poisons. I think he messed something up with his spells right there. But still, that's no problem. He's just keep freezing. The defending queen has the poison left if he wants to use it. But still, like even with this pretty much swag spell at this point, it's still no problems. Just take a look at this huge wave on the left side coming around the base and taking everything out with the Royal Embassy in the core, doing everything what she can to take out even more buildings, and then the Queen and the King surrounding the base. They started at the 6 o'clock side, and they are already at the top side, and are still going with the Queen ability not even used. The Royal Champ ability still not used either, but the Royal Champ is now approaching into an area where a ton of damage is located, but you can just use the Royal Champ ability. That's no problem whatsoever. Yet again, an easy 3-star. So hey, I hope I was able to explain this strategy a bit better to you. And this is a really interesting strategy with not having to use like a fancy queen charge or whatever to actually make the Dragon Riders work. You can just use like your Inferno Dragons and use that the same combination on turn 14. I hope you liked the video, I hope you learned something new, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow for the next video. Until then, see ya, and well, bye bye.